Hello and welcome back to the Old Chair Campaign. I am your host and GM Nineveh, and with me are Kathea and Soinnarios.
Well, this is Kathea,
Right.
and I managed to miss the final one.
Yeah, we had a lot of recording difficulties in the previous episode, so Kathea was not present for the last chunk of recording for that one. That's strictly on my internet. Okay, so this is going to be session 29 in recording order, episode 33, but that might not be the order that these end up coming out in because we have a couple of chats in there. So we're a little how the sausage is made view there for the listeners. The campaign sessions are always in order, but some of the chats might move around a little bit because nobody listens to them, and I don't want to kill the podcast by doing two in a row. So they get some listens, but they're not our most popular episodes, which fair enough. All right, so last time we went through a Harvest Queen festival ritual that Soinnarios finished out as the Harvest Queen. Baron, our dashing Maboter, stepped out of the cover of a romance novel and into your heart guy, won. So he got to marry you. He's now your husband. So that's pretty cool.
It is. Fix him.
I can fix
Now
him.
we take him on an adventure, he'll probably die.
Don't take him on an adventure. Don't do it.
Maybe he's
But,
he's
yeah.
already served his purpose.
Yeah, exactly. He's doing his job as we speak. So no, so that would happen pretty recently. So for the rest of her season, like that's kind of at the middle mark. But when we get through the rest of her season, basically, which we've already kind of done for Soinnarios, he's already rolled. Sorry, your character didn't do the rolling. The like end of season stuff. So for you, Kathea, like things kind of wrap up around the same time you were watching these things happen. Your cousin gets married. There's a big ritual and big wedding ceremony at the Earth and Storm temples, and then that kind of winds down. So the rest of the season's relatively quiet. Scenarios at some point during later season, you will conclude that you are in fact pregnant. Way to go! And so it's kind of that season. So the first thing we're going to lead off with kind of is like as Earth season tapers off, Kathea, you're going to want to kind of figure out your roles and assign your occupational stuff and do that sort of bookkeeping stuff for the season.
There were four. We assigned four.
You assign four. They can't be the same.
Plus roll for my ones I already got.
Plus the ones you already got.
Yeah. Okay. Sounds good. Should I just go ahead and do that?
Yep, absolutely. Because there's going to be more of these as we go through the back end of the year. Dark and Storm are not usually very active.
I'm not logged in. Let's see.
You're not logged in. To what?
Sorry. To where I'm updating my character.
Oh, okay. To the wiki. Okay, got it. I was like, you're here with us on the chat. Like, hopefully you're logged into something. I was going to get confused.
Log into the wiki right now.
Nice. So yeah. So while Kathea's doing that, and we'll kind of inquire about any big shifts or So we'll I lost my train of thought. It's been a long weekend. Okay, so the big things to cover for the rest of Earth Soinnarios, you'll have some time to get to know Baron a little bit here in the next few weeks. He's so the obvious stuff, right? Like you know just from his background, he's probably had some problems. Like recently, but with this tribe getting Talmoried and all that stuff. But overall, you find him to be like he pretty quickly becomes fairly attentive to the duties of the household. So he does the stuff that men are supposed to do, fix things, help out, move heavy objects, start thinking about the next planting season, stuff like that. And he's obviously, you catch him, he has his like morose moments, right? Like he's obviously hasn't been that long since he was doing this sort of stuff with a different family in the Maboterlands, so
Being new to it, I try to, I guess, give him his space at those times, but we'll still help him assist around the house or whatever.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, like you have all your stuff that you're supposed to be doing as well, like basically.
I can spend more.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, you can keep doing that. Yeah, you can spend. Spending is a constant task. Will occupy a lot of your free time pretty much all the time. And yeah. So you can do that sort of stuff. But yeah, the big things with him, like it takes a while. Like he doesn't really want to talk about it a lot, I guess. So he kind of like is fairly dutiful, but every once in a while he's just like, yeah, he's obviously like thinking about other things. So is there anything you want to know about him or that you want to learn here during your first few weeks of marriage?
During the second or third week, I might ask what he had before, but I'm not going to push. Like if he's like, I don't want to talk about it, but at least once a week after the first week, I'll check in or give him opportunity to talk.
I guess it's a good sign. So he'll tell you after some gentle prodding, we'll say, some very polite inquiry, like that, he had a wife, he had 2 children, that he wasn't at home the night the Mobota attacked, like he was off on other business, and so he doesn't know what happened to them. But he's been back. Like he threw in with Jones, the lunar commander, to help fight the Soinnarios off. So he's been back to his homestead. It was destroyed. So, and he knows that his wife passed. He doesn't actually know what happened to his children. So he's not sure.
My stepmother is my next door.
You actually have no legal obligation to any of his children.
I know.
Should they surface or not?
No, but if they surface in the next year, they could stay with us
until the middle of Earth season, and then you go all wicked stepmother on him and kick him out.
Get out. Soinnarios get a new husband.
This is only a year contract wedding, right?
Yes, it's a year marriage.
There's an option to renew.
Yeah. So that's kind of what you get out of him is that his wife is definitely dead. His children are missing. He doesn't know what happened to them. Odds seem poor, you would say, and he did go back to fight and he left again, basically. So
I figured it's unlikely, but at some point I might do a divination. Just look into it.
Makes sense. Okay. We'll put a pin in that notion. All right, so Kathea, are you caught up?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I went through and did skill checks. I didn't do great with skills, getting high enough, but amazingly, I moved my devotion Yolorna up, which is now over 90%.
Nice.
Actually, my ride horse, my worship Yolorna, which also went up, my composite bow, they're all 90% plus. I don't know how many more I have to have, but just letting you know where I'm at.
Nope, sounds good. That's what I was just checking in. I think you're pretty close. You maybe have 1 skill left that you still need to push up.
I think it's got to be, one-handed spear or medium shield are both. I mean, they're probably both going to need one at least one, but probably 2 or 3. But they're close.
Right. Cool. All right, good. All right, so that's kind of Earth season. You kind of learn a little bit more about your moody husband and his complicated and tragic backstory.
I'm sorry. Any Orlanthea would have married would have been this way.
Yeah, emotional, yes. Like, he laughs, he cries.
Yes. Different kinds of emotions.
Yeah. Cool. Okay, so that gets us through kind of Earth season. You're kind of settling into new routines, learning how to live like this other person that you're now in a year marriage for. And then we'll move into dark season. Dark season is the truest test of any new marriage because it's cold. It's snowy. Days are short. The nights are long. You're kind of there with them all the time. So you're sitting in your rocking chair spinning, and he's over there being too loud, just sitting there.
Go check on the herds.
You have to leave before I kill you with
back.
this needle. Yeah, so it's tough. Dark season definitely can bring that out. It it's a time of little contact with the outside world, basically. It's hard, sometimes difficult even to move to the village center, to get back to Fieldstone and stuff when the snows get deep. But it's usually, you can move around some for it. But it is a time where you spend a lot of time at the household for sure. So other than that, though,
would now, I guess, be an okay time, or because of being dark seasons too snowy, to try to get all the other Arnoldans together to bless pregnancy?
Yeah, that would be something that you would handle now. Eventually, your mother will pull people in to kind of organize that. So you're not the only woman who's pregnant, right? So this is sort of something that you haven't really participated in, but it's kind of in the background, right? People get pregnant every season. It's kind of a normal part of life, right? And so every season or so, the temple, if a woman doesn't have the spells herself or whatever, the temple will kind of step in and help with that stuff. So it's kind of one of the temple's duties. It's one of the reasons that Ernalda is not usually the temple isn't always brimming with rune points to spend on healing and stuff, is because they're spending it on midwifery and taking care of crops, animals, and stuff like that. So they're not necessarily always ready to just start deploying earth elementals. So yeah, that's something you can do. So you would go to the temple. Your mother would be there with some.
I would invite Kathea as well.
All right. Okay.
I don't
I'm
know.
feeling like there's a bigger and bigger gap between me and like Arnalda things, but if I'm specifically invited by my cousin, I will definitely go.
As well as Inara.
Inara
Thank
can
you.
go. Yeah, Inara can go. That's cool. Your lives are getting different.
I figured
right? So
yeah,
makes sense.
I'm still pushing, just to mention it in the background here, to get Inara to get moved in fully into our clan at some point. She can have my spot, my heritage, my birthright.
Right. I have some answers to that. That'll be coming
If
up.
I can work on that actively, I will. What's that?
That's one of the things that we're going to be talking about during the seasonal transition.
Okay, I'll shut up right now.
We planted those seeds back in season, so and I'll start paying them off.
Oh,
I just don't want them to forget. That's important to my character, even if it's a real backgroundy thing.
I know. No, you're good.
Am I allowed to have things important to my character?
Yeah, as long as it's like
besides
a bow.
killing stuff.
So
I have stuff. She has a lot of drives beyond just being a murderer.
It's true.
She's kind of torn by that.
Yeah, in addition to being a murderer, she has other interests and hobbies. Like, we should not pigeonhole her into that. So yeah, no, I'm teasing. Yeah. So it's something you can work on and talk about. But so during darkness season, the big things that are going to happen are Soinnarios. You're at the temple. Your mother's at the temple. Inara's at the temple. Kathea's at the temple for some reason. And
hey,
there are a couple of other like
the GM giving me.
So initiates or people that would spend time in the temple, like helping out, are there as well. So you can do what you want to do. Do you have an idea of how you want this to look and go, or is this something you're wanting me to like fill in a lot of gaps for?
I always imagine these some sort of either sitting or even on or more so in the earth, maybe even partially buried to protect and nurture the womb or whatever. Almost like a simulation, like to prep for almost a simulation of the midwife setup of women around to support as we're in the position to give birth.
Right. Okay. That makes sense. That's actually similar to what I was picturing anyways. So I think we're in broad agreement there. Yeah. So there's a lot of that. There's like circles. You're kind of with it. Like you kind of blessing the pregnancy. So it's very like womb and body focused. There's going to be some laying on of hands and things. Like Earth is fairly like earthy and material, right? So like physical contact, touch, those sorts of things are important a lot of times in rituals. So you have people like chant songs or say prayers over you, and you have that kind of setup. So what spells were you looking for to cast here?
The main one was blessed pregnancy.
Yes, there was a reason I'd want the Red Book of Magic open.
Because one, just by casting it, adds 50% to my give birth roll.
Right.
And then every point after the first one gives me +1 to characteristic of my choosing for the child.
Right.
I think that was the big one offhand.
Okay. The only other spell I might recommend is just the birthing spell, which stacks with blessed pregnancy.
Yeah.
And is something that someone would know. It's an Arnaldan spell. She gets it through a subcult.
Yep. One of her daughters from Anita or whatever.
Yeah. And so for the listeners at home, or wherever they're listening, I guess they don't have to listen at home. The blessed pregnancy spell basically helps you out. You don't have any like morning sickness and stuff like that. The discomfort's managed, so like you'll eventually feel very round, but you won't feel like, my entire body is stretching out and this sucks. Like blessed pregnancy gets rid of all of that, so that you only suffer like just like a little bit, and like during actual childbirth, you'll be able to control the timing of the birth. So you can kind of be like, not right now, I need to make it to the temple first. Like you have a little bit of control over that, as well as it mostly gets rid of like it's not going to hurt very much, like it's not going to be like a big deal. Generally, it adds to your roll. What birthing does is it's a smaller spell. It's a 1-point spell, but it just says like, hey, your pregnancy, it's cast on you when you're pregnant. It lasts until the pregnancy. It can be cast any time, but it allows a safe and painless pregnancy, and delivery of a healthy child. So it pretty much just guarantees like that everything will be fine. So the sacred time rule, does that one like influence whether or not you have twins? Is that what part of that is? Or is it just to determine whether or not the kid is safe? Okay. Yep. Okay. So adding 50 is useful.
I think generally safe.
So also, to be clear here, this role is more of a like, we might tinker with a little bit because like the 1 through 45 result isn't meaningful to you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because we know that you're pregnant. So like randomizing, like, did you get pregnant? Are you gonna have a kid? We don't need to randomize it because we know. So, but there'll be some bonuses to both of them. Anyways, in any event, your mother will cast blessed pregnancy on you. She has kind of that control of the ritual, so she casts the big spell. One of the attendants casts birthing as well from Aninta, so she'd be initiated into the Aninta subcult, so she's your actual clan like midwife, right? And then several Inara will cast blessed pregnancy on you, and so will one of the other people who's there. So you'll get 2 bonus characteristics to your child, basically. Tiny little Ubermensch.
When they cast it, am I able to join?
Can you cast it as well? Yes.
Am I able to? Would it be a separate casting, or would it be a join-in casting, or whatever? I'm just
mechanically, it's going to count like basically you're helping each other. Like, yeah, like basically you're helping each other with it. So you would like you can kind of dump additional room points into it. They're not going to go crazy on it. Because they have other duties. It's kind of up to you to determine how crazy you want to go on it.
I'm gonna hopefully not be done, but I'm gonna put all 5 room points into it. It's for the good of the clan.
Plus, you got on dark season and storm season to recover them. I would offer to, but I'm pretty sure I can't use room points for anything with Arnaldo. Nope. I'm just there for support.
You do not know the spell. It's kind of a structurally, it's a like usually one person casts it, and then you can put additional room points in it. But I'm kind of like being like, hey, it's a ritual. You're all working together, so we'll go a little further. Also, this game isn't gonna last long enough for this child's ridiculously boosted stats to matter. So
it might. Maybe we'll play the next generation.
Yeah, sure, maybe. Anyways, yeah. So, yeah, it's too late for Argoth already exists somewhere.
Who's the real Argoth?
I don't know. There's only one now, so.
Right,
let's not wind up that one. Right. So, anyways, yeah. So you'll go through that ritual and get like some magics on you that will, like, it was pretty early. So, like, if you had some of your indications of like, oh yeah, I'm probably pregnant, would include things like I feel sick in the morning and stuff like that. So, like, once you get this handled, it's like, well, there are so many things that happen in the modern world even that you don't have to worry about, like morning sickness, right? Like women getting diabetic during pregnancy is a thing that happens sometimes. You don't have to worry about that, right? Like, in addition, you don't have to worry about any of the many horrible things that happen during pre-modern, like early agricultural society, like Bronze and Iron Age societies. Like, that's we were kind of talking about that before we started recording, but this will be much more like modern, like pregnancy risk, right, and childbirth risk. It's very low. Except that it's in some ways even less risky and easier than it would be in the modern era because of all the magic that's involved. So just keep that in mind. Like, you will feel occasionally cumbersome as your character gets more pregnant because you're getting larger, right? Like, you have like a whole person growing inside of you, but you're not going to be like, oh, my back hurts. Oh, this is just miserable. I feel bad all the time. Like, that stuff doesn't happen. Like, because of these spells, like, you just don't experience the aches and pains that you would anticipate, right? Maybe normally. So just it's something to keep in mind. Like, Arnalda wants you to have kids. She makes it easy and she makes the process very safe. So that's something to keep in. Like, this is not your medieval study, like infant mortality stuff, childbirth mortality stuff. Like, it's pretty safe. Like, you're like, for most women throughout most of history, getting pregnant would come with a certain amount of fear as well as like happiness, right? Like, this could kill me, this could go really badly. That's not something that Arnaldans experience, period. Like, you are 100% guaranteed by the hand of the goddess to have a healthy, safe pregnancy and a healthy, safe childbirth that is not painful. So just keep that in mind. Like, it's very different. So it's one of the more probably alien things for the setting. It's just how differently this goes. And with that in mind, you will be more capable through more of the pregnancy because you're not going to experience the sort of discomfort that like keeps you from sleeping well or keeps you from moving around, right? Like, is it physically eventually like it'll become more difficult, but for a long time you're going to be pretty capable still, and it won't be a problem. So you can still run around or do an adventure or something, even though I don't think we're planning on doing much for the next year. You have the option if you need to. So cool. Do you have any other questions about that side of things?
I guess it won't matter
Mhm.
how much other people put in, or will we not find that out until next Earth season?
I know how much was put in.
Okay.
So
That's fine.
When
We're
we're working
good.
on determining your character stats, your child's tiny baby stats, we'll figure it out. Though, functionally speaking, it'll take you a year or two to really start noticing anything. Like, oh, this, like, a baby is a baby, right? Like they're a little sack of pudding that just kind of lays there and is cute, right? Like once they start being able to walk and talk, you'd be like, oh, this baby is kind of buff. Like this little toddler is surprisingly intelligent or whatever, like. So
Okay.
yeah, some of that we'll save. We'll save that for future reveals. Do you have any other questions about like what's going on or what's happening or anything you
think
need
so.
to do? Okay, cool.
Not in this. No.
That's fair. Yeah. Within that context. Okay. Other things that happen. Kathea,
Yes.
you have a high holy day coming up
Dark season?
in dark season. Yeah. Yep. This is Yolorna's like star calling, like her big central
Yeah.
myth is like, I called the stars to fight in the darkness. I organized a war host of heaven and sent them down to earth to fight. Like I'm out of my war unicorn and got the meteor bow. I went to fight Arganagar and lost. Like that sort of stuff happens. So one of the big things here, we've kind of talked about this, right? Like you make like declarations and things during some of your high holy days to like swear yourself to a cause or do things. If there was something you were planning on maybe doing next year while your cousin is at least partially out of commission, so you have more time to do your own thing instead of being like a joint venture sort of thing, this would be a good time to be like, I'm gonna go do this. So what do you I know I'm kind of like heavily like lampshading this. So what are you planning on doing?
No, actually, I have several things on the high holy day. First of all, I want to talk and dedicate myself to more development of the shrine.
Right.
That just happened in the last year.
Mhm.
I don't remember if we talked about it in the high holy day, or did I spend my high holy day last year developing it? Was that then? I feel like maybe it was.
It's been in between them. That would have been last fire season.
So
or this fire season, I should say. So like 2 seasons ago.
Yeah, so it was during fire season.
Yeah, like you. Well, that's when you made it a subpoll, I should say. So
right, and so I'll announce it to the bigger group. I've already talked about it to my home, but basically say it's there. They're welcome to use it, and also it's my time to brag about doing stuff sacred to Yolorna. I'll rededicate and I'll pass along our story of our success and our failures with the elf quest and our connection with the elves. Rededicate myself to going there the next year in dark season. So I'll be there. I don't know if I'm going to overlap with my high holy day or not next year, but whatever. That we will be there for to continue that quest, which has 2 more years, I believe. So maybe 3 if it's a sacred time thing. Yeah. Okay. And then I am going to announce that I will dedicate myself that I'm going to go do my quest for the unicorn this next year. And I would announce a season if I had an inkling of when it would be and where it would be, but I don't know if I know that. Sea season or fire season or something like that.
Fire season is kind of when your cult usually goes through the unicorn like mythic cycle, right? So that would be when that would be the most appropriate time.
Fire season. So I'll announce that and I'll dedicate myself to that. So I don't know if the elf thing means much, but I will mention it because we've already used it once.
Yeah, I mean, you're just noting like, hey, we did this last year, but I'm going to do it again. Like I'm dedicating that service again.
And that we're progressing on it.
Right. Yeah.
And what was it? And my shrine.
Mm-hmm.
Again, kind of that's to the bigger community, and then dedicate myself to securing a unicorn.
Mm-hmm. Nice, monochros. So in the Greek.
I mean, I could.
But yeah, so that's cool.
Fine. Whatever.
whatever. Yeah, so the shrine will get you some claim, right? People are like, oh yeah, that's pretty cool. Like, so there are people who are interested in going to it. There are people who are interested in like securing that. It's a valid subcult for people to join, so it provides them with some additional abilities. It's interesting. There's definitely some like measure of respect being awarded there. The elf fight stuff is good. Like, you've been helping out the elves. It's a good thing. Announcing for your intent to like quest for a unicorn and become like a unicorn rider is not unexpected, right? Like, a lot of, not that it's not like an important moment for your character, but it's not something that everyone's like, oh wow, I didn't really think she'd ever try. It's like, well, people like can kind of see that on you, that you've been like working to develop yourself in the cults and to pursue these sorts of goals. So no, that's cool. So yeah, you get some acclaim.
It would be worse if they were like, I'm sorry, it'd be worse if they were like, oh my gosh, who would have
there's like a stunned silence and then like whispered mutterings like spreading out across the like, no. So yeah, no, it's fine. People are kind of eyeballing you and thinking like, yeah, you're about at that time where you're gonna try, right? Like, and it'll go well or not, but you're that's where you're at. So that's cool. So do me a favor and roll a d6.
3.
Okay, cool. And then I'm gonna look here. So that number we're gonna hold on to. So basically, what's gonna happen for you? No, you're fine. Is that during this stuff, like the next day, right? Like after your High Holy Day, which you're gonna roll like POW and stuff. We'll do that in a minute. I just want to get through with the story arc, I guess, before we go back to that. So Allay the Silver, you remember her? The unicorn rider with like all the silver armor and stuff. Like, who you're like, shit.
Oh yeah. Yep.
She has several like Yolornan initiates who kind of like go around with her. One of them approaches you the next morning and asks you to meet with Allay sometime, like kind of at your convenience. Like, she's not like, busy in town, but she has like the temple doesn't really have a lot of facilities, right? Like, so she's kind of stayed up in like a tent that she's pitched, though it's nicer than it sounds.
Yeah. No.
So like
she's got a group, I assume it's a large tent.
Yeah, she has a group. It's a large tent. It's like double pitch, so there's like a larger tent shielding a smaller enclosure to like provide more protection and insulation. There's raised floor, like fire burning, stuff like that. So it's relatively nice, all things considered. So when you go in to meet with her, she's like seated, like, so there's a fire burning in one corner, like some like, so it's cool but not uncomfortable, probably roughly that level. She's not alone. There are a couple of other initiates there. Her unicorn is sort of like would be in the first layer of enclosure, so like outside this tent but inside the broader tent, so it's more sheltered but it doesn't need as much.
I'll be sure greet it by name if I know it,
right. You do know its name, but I don't, so you'll have to forgive me on that one.
That's good enough.
Yeah,
it's all right. I'll just, but I mean, I'm not.
I will come up with some horse names.
They're intelligent and sacred.
So they are. Yeah.
You don't have
intelligent, quasi-immortal, all that stuff.
Better than us.
Yeah, I mean, I figure they have to be essentially like not dying of age, or else there wouldn't be any left because they can't breed.
Oh, yeah.
Since there are only male unicorns. In any event, once you're like, she has brought you in, so she's like well dressed. Kind of seated, like working on something, like writing something down, taking notes or whatever, and she'll gesture for you to sit. So this is like a little camp, right? So she has like a little like foldable desk and like a little like chair, right? Like that sort of stuff. So you can kind of sit, like it's not super comfortable, but it's better than just standing there. Once you have done so, tells you like she's very impressed by your commitment to the cult, and she knows that you just declared, obviously, like in front of her and everybody, like you're going to be going after a unicorn. And so she wants to know if you have any questions about that process. Like, she's not always around, but she is right now.
All right. I don't actually know what I know about it going into this, so I probably do have lots of questions, but I don't actually know what my questions would be.
That's fair.
Basically okay. Know about
100%. So
the quest.
Right. So here there are a few things that to kind of ground this, right? She'll tell you that, for one, there are many ways to go about this, right? Like, there is a hero quest where you go into the hero plane and you bring a unicorn back from the hero plane. That is it's very difficult to do that, right? And it has a high failure rate. but that's like the way that your temple usually does things because there aren't any unicorns around. She's heard of a place in like distant Prax where there's a whole tribe of women who ride unicorns, and so there, going on a unicorn quest to be a unicorn rider is much easier, right? Because there are unicorns around, and so that quest is more. Like it's still, I'm struggling because she doesn't have the God Learner terms. Like you still have to go on a quest, right, to get a unicorn, even
Right.
if there's a unicorn there with you. But that quest is more symbolic in nature, or
Right.
more about testing your virtue. It's more of a, for our benefit, it's more of a this world hero quest rather than an other world hero quest. So it's easier. It's also
Yeah.
more like a nightly quest, right, where you go on an adventure and learn things about yourself in the world, and then come back with like a cool animal companion. So that's kind of part of it. So one thing she suggests is that if you can, like, occasionally unicorns being sort of immortal, sometimes they're just around. So you might, like, if you're serious about doing this, you might look around and try to figure out if there's one around somewhere, or if there's rumors of one. That might help guide your steps, even if it doesn't necessarily work. It would still point you in the right direction. Like get you in the right mindset. Otherwise, like she can share some of her. Does that help at all? Is that helpful?
Yeah.
Okay. Is there anything?
I don't know how to do it, but I can.
Right.
I was gonna ask how she got her unicorn, but I was gonna wait till she was done with her advice first.
No, you're good. Yeah. So that's the next step, right? She went on an otherworld hero quest. So she went for the full, like, I reenacted like Yolorna's pathway, right? So like I fasted and meditated, purified myself. The temple supported the effort and like sent me off into the god time, and I reenacted Yolorna's steps and came back with a unicorn that is sort of, and I don't know, this is where it gets a little funky, right? She's an emanation or a embodiment of like a king unicorn, like the unicorn. Like he's his own separate being.
Right.
Like her unicorn is a real and complete person, but it's also like formed of a piece of the god time essence of being a unicorn. So that's all hard to explain, though.
Right.
So
Well, that
she gets a little like
no, that makes sense.
Yeah, it gets kind of mystical in there.
I'm gonna be honest. I kind of like the idea of doing the hero quest, hero plane one, just because it seems more special. But I realize that probably increases my odds of failing.
It's harder. It is what you usually do here. So it's kind of how it usually goes. It's just because you don't have like Prax, parts of Darahapa. I think there's one other place still have native unicorn herds, and like nothing else does. So
it's either that or travel to Prax, but it seems like I'd have I don't know. I kind of like going to the hero plane. That's
cool. Yeah, we can definitely do that. So yeah, so she can kind of explain some of that to you. She does note that like your priestess, like she's lived through it, but it's inherently a subjective experience. Like your priestess, Colchis, she just advised you, like, listen to her, seek out her counsel, pay attention to what she says. Like she's very, very well studied, well learned, and wise. And she knows, and she acknowledges, she's like, I know that our priestesses don't usually get as much respect as the rune ladies, like the star maidens, do. Like she's still worth respecting.
I think I do already.
Yeah.
Plus, she lives here all the time, Couches, so she'd be like, we've known each other for a while.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. It's just sort of the cult has that sense where like the rune ladies are really respected, and the rune priestesses are more like, well, we need you. Like, like we need you to like handle logistics and initiate new people and do the ceremonies, like where the adventurer is really the heart of the cult. Like, so yeah.
No, excellent.
Cool.
Any advice she gives me, I'll take. And for that matter, I'm guessing I understand the basic path and form of the hero quest, because that would be a very common, it's common enough that people do it that I assume we understand that, and we follow the myth. But it's the setting up and preparing for it and doing the individual parts.
Right, yeah. You know the myth, and you've heard it several times because it's your fire season holy day myth that they retell every year. So you've heard it several times. We've talked about it. We've kind of like talked through it on your first holy day and in the campaign. And I will get you more details, get more structure, like write up, instead of just being like, go back and listen to episode 5 or whatever, like, so. But Yeah, so that's kind of what you're looking at, though. Like she can give you some advice about. A lot of it is just like you have to be. It's all a demonstration of like your loyal, like the virtues that the cult develops, or like that Yolorna wants, are virtues that you need to do these things. So you need to be pure, you need to be brave, you need to be committed, and all those things. Like, so she invites you to like reflect on those things as well, and like if there's anything in your life you need to clean up so that you feel like you're on the right path, like do those things.
That makes sense.
Cool. That's
That's
really
good.
like that's kind of her
It's
advice.
nice to.
Like,
Yep. Sorry, I was just kind of agreeing along with you. I realized that we're kind of talking over each other because we're on.
yeah, we can't see each other, and there's I think probably as always a little bit of lag, so we bump into each other. But no, that's kind of her advice. If there's nothing else you like, if you have no specific questions, she'll kind of chat with you for a while about stuff, and then leave it at that. And she'll leave an open invitation, like if I'm ever around, like feel free to ask more questions. Like,
no, that's great. I don't have any specific questions as a player right now. I don't know.
That's cool.
Kathea probably has some more that she knows, but I will just start over the next 3 seasons taking time out to meditate and prepare, and probably use a divination in one of the next seasons to kind of get some direction for my own personal quest.
No, it makes sense. Cool. Okay, so now that we've kind of gone through that, I want you to, Kathea, if you want to start, you can go and like flag like a POW game check, a worship check.
Okay. I got my. Do I roll
like
them now, or do I
just
save those for end of season?
Just go ahead and mark them, and then kind of start thinking about what skills you want to do on Dark Season. And also, because it's relatively quiet this season, if you wanted to train something, like not just like occupational checks, but actual training or something, you could try to do that for a skill, or something like that. So go ahead and give that a little thought. I'm going to return to Soinnarios.
Real quick, I do worship. Yes. I do not get a check in lore.
Generally, no, but I'm going to say that just like having like a good conversation about this hero quest will get you a check in it.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's sensible.
That, but thank you.
Like, I meant to say it when we were talking about it, and I just forgot about it. But yeah, I think it's the sort of thing you would reasonably pick up. Okay, cool. Back to Soinnarios. A few things happen. So again, you're like living that Dark Season life at home. You do eventually get some news that kind of chatters up to you through your cotters, basically, and your carls, that they've heard things. Like, it sounds like, even though it's very cold out and there's some snow and stuff, it sounds like the war against Tomori has been progressing.
Like escalating, or?
Yeah, it sounds like you're not sure exactly, like, again, the specifics are going to elude you a bit, but the Jomes has sort of apparently attempted to pick up the pressure some. So like there's a lot of drawing on lunar resources for logistics so that he can carry out more raids and things while life is harder for everyone. That's kind of what it sounds like to you. Like, it's like, oh man, the Tomori, it's cold, it's hard to move around, they're having to hunt more. Like, it's harder to hunt, so it takes longer to find things. So he's attacking more frequently because he can just call on the lunars to be like, hey, can you just send some wagons out here? Can you like get some mules and manport food to us and make this happen? And the lunars are like, yes, we have the massive resources of Empire, we can help you fight the Tomori. Like,
whereas I appreciate it for Baron's sake. That's scary.
Mm-hmm. Yes, the ability to carry out decentralized high tempo winter operations is kind of horrifying. And against the Tomori, who can turn into wolves and like walk through the snow and stuff, like, a fair amount of the time is kind of like, okay, wow, this is, yeah, you can see the machinery of Empire unfurling before you, and it's like, yeah, this is why they conquered us. So something to consider there. That's just news. It's just color, really. You had talked about wanting to maybe cast a divination on Baron's behalf, which would be something you could do in this season if you wanted to.
I would need a rune point, though. I don't have any currently.
Do you not have any? Oh, did you just spend them all? Okay, so this is a whole season. You can get rune points back. Here's what I want to say, okay? Effectively, you have weekly worship services at the Arnalda Temple. You can also attend associate weekly services at the Storm, like at Orland's Temple. You also have seasonal High Holy Days for both of them, one of which is associate, one of which is your own cult. generally speaking, if there are specific projects you want to carry out during seasonal play or downtime or however you want to term it, don't worry about it as long as you're not getting silly. Like if you want to spend a room point or two here and there to do things, just do it. There's just so many ways to get room points back that it's not something to worry about. And it's so easy to boost your worship roll. Like
I was going to go do the seasonal holy Pelora worship anyway, so
right,
yeah, I can attend a weekly service and probably get at least a room point back to cast divination. I would do so at the Ronaldo Temple.
Okay, cool.
I might not tell Baronth that I'm doing this yet.
Right, that makes sense. You want to know what the results are before you have to talk about it. So you can be like, okay, I'm just never going to talk about this.
A healthy marriage.
Yeah.
So, yeah, going to go there. And within the Dirks, I kind of call on Ronaldo mother. And the things I know I have no legal responsibility, and I've been around Kathea too much, talking about love and emotions and all that stuff. He's still, it hasn't been a full season yet, but he's my husband, so I kind of care, and I tell myself I just want to be less mopey. But it seems like a thing to get if we can find the kids. I assume that he told me their names and ages and whatnot.
Yes. Yeah. You have that information. That's the best I can do for you. It's been a busy week. I don't have everything. I don't have all the names plotted out. So.
No, and I know, and unless we're going after to actually rescue them if they're still alive, it doesn't matter too much for us as players in a GM. So yeah, I'm gonna dig into the earth and reach out to Ronaldo as well as I think see if she knows where the children tread, or she knows if they've passed on to her sister,
right,
or however Tychor Tag is related to her.
Gotcha. Cool. Okay, so you're like in the temple. You're like kneeling to the earth. You have like your hands dug into the dirt, like, and you're like searching for knowledge, answers, this sort of thing. So go ahead and roll your relevant rune. It sounds like it's your earth rune, but it could be your life rune. Divination is just tied to your cult's runes.
I think I'll do earth.
Yep, makes sense. It is better.
75 is a success.
Indeed it is. So put a check in your earth rune.
Hooray.
Good job. And then, so we will explore that. So you are like sitting there or just kneeling there with your hands in the dirt, sort of like meditating or like opening your mind to the earth's wisdom, like trying to like seek a vision basically. And you do get a vision. And unlike your like divination's pretty personal, like you've participated in like your mother's divinations before where she weaves things, right? So a lot of times the threads kind of tell the story and you pick out and figure out what it means. You're going for something a little more primal in your execution, so you're going to get a little more primal of a response as well. But so you like you're sitting in the temple and like you're getting like flashes of like sensations of image or like feel and impact. Like a lot of it's like emotions or like the sense of touch is being like pushed through. So like you're like feeling things happen like around you and getting like snippets and bits of it. So you get like you kind of go back to the night, like the Mabodar attack, right? Like, and you feel like wolf prints, like paws on the snow, like you can feel their mother fall, but you don't feel the kids fall there. Like you don't feel them like retreat to the earth, right? Which is what we would traditionally, that's like the traditional like earth imagery for dying is like you go hide beneath the earth, right? You shelter within the earth, you retreat into the earth. Like that doesn't happen here. So that first snippet, you're like, okay, like whatever happened, like they didn't like die then, like the wolves didn't eat them, right? That's good. That's a good sign. So you get several more snippets of vision, like again, like impressions and like rough, like pretty like intense like sensory experiences, but they don't necessarily make a ton of sense right away, right? You have to like think about them as after they've happened to kind of puzzle them out. But you get like sensations of like people like fleeing on snow, like small footsteps on snow. You get some other sensations of like hardship or difficulty, right? Fear is a pretty common refrain in these, and then you get a sense of like you can feel them, and you can feel like a sense of relief and trepidation, right, or uncertainty, and then you lose them, and the reason you lose them is because this earth sense that you have like runs into a wall of red, and it's just gone. And you can't see what happens after that. Does that make sense? What are your initial interpretation of that? Maybe I'll...
cut a little bit in and out.
Sorry.
They made it out alive.
Yes.
But I think they got either captured or enslaved.
Enslaved is a strong
That's what
word.
I'm taking from it.
Captured is probably a good word, or taken into custody. Your sense is that the last time you could see them, your interpretation, I think, would be that the red light being a wall, like pretty well, the gods can only see things that are in their purview, right? You can't usually push a divination through a temple or consecrated grounds, so you would expect that they went to a lunar temple and then you lost them. Like, so they might still be there, but you don't have any way of knowing like what happened to them beyond that.
Beyond what?
Beyond that, like you can't. If they had come back out of the temple, you would probably know that. You might have picked them up again. You might not have. So they might still be at the lunar temple. You don't know which one. There's more than one in the area, but that's kind of your impression. So I left off with like that sense that they had probably been taken, like basically they arrived at a lunar temple somewhere, right? You don't know which one. There's more than one lunar temple. Atari's market would also count. Like an Interior's lunar trade market would also count because it has consecrated ground. So there are several of those around the Maboter area. You don't know which one it was, but you have some information, right? As far as you can tell, when you lost track of them at some point in the not too distant past, they were still alive. They're at a lunar place. You don't know which one, but that's the information that you have. So it's a lot of information, but it doesn't solve all your problems. So is that helpful, not helpful?
It is. I know who I want to contact, and I hate that I want to contact her. You know who I'm thinking of?
You have like two options, I think. Who are you thinking of?
I'm looking back at my notes, but it would be the nice lunar priestess that came out and brought the food stuff. Where are my notes that happened?
Yeah, that was a while ago. That was session 19. It is her name is Priestess Felina.
Yes, her.
Yeah. So you think about reaching out to her?
That seems like the least harmful one I could reach out to.
Probably true.
See, we have lots of lunar friends.
Yeah.
Yeah. The others, we do have a lot of contacts in the lunar garrison since they got wyvern babies.
They like us. Everybody likes us. We're friendly people.
That is true. We are very cosmopolitan. Is there anybody else who would be more effective that we could think of?
That's a good question. I don't know. Yeah, those are kind of your options. Of the two, she's probably more useful in this because she's more tied into the temple network and because she's more likely to be like, oh, that's really sad. As opposed to like, yep, cost of war. So,
He gets along with the Lunars. I figured I did not need to ask Harvard at this time.
Mm-hmm. He would no doubt be helpful, but maybe not the most helpful. He's a man of wily talents. So, what's a man of many devices?
Yes, I'm gonna.
Do you want to tell him that, or do you want to
not.
hold on until you know more? It's up to you.
I think I'm gonna tell him that Ronaldo gave me a vision that I may or may not have sought after.
Right.
And what clues were, and that I might know somebody. Yeah.
Yeah, and let's be clear here. The magic as we experience it as players playing the game is very mechanistic, right? Your subjective experience of it could be like, I went to the vision seeking a temple. Or I went to the temple seeking a vision. It could also be very much like, I went to the temple because I was upset and I received a vision. It's not necessarily as clearly explicitly like your side initiated in the texture of the world or the fiction of the setting. So it's up to you how you want to interpret that. Like, you may have gone there like hoping to find something out, or you may have gone there to make something happen. That's up to you. That's a characterization.
Soinnarios went there to find it.
Right.
I can't.
That's what I thought the answer was, but I wanted to make it explicit on your end, but also let you know that sometimes it gets a little fuzzy, right? Sometimes you get mad and a lightning bolt happens. Sometimes you meant to cast lightning bolt. Oh wait, that's just
there are other characters I've had other characters that would be drawn to it, but not. Nope, Soinnarios was seeking it.
Makes sense.
You told me something. I'm going to try to solve your problems.
Right. No, absolutely. That's totally cool. I just wanted to introduce that thought to it. So okay, cool. So yeah, you went out to learn. You tell him about it. Like time is kind of fuzzy, right? You're asking questions of a timeless goddess who exists outside of time, so it's hard to tell how long ago that happened exactly. But it couldn't have been too long ago, right? So yeah, once you tell him, like his face kind of closes off and hardens, and he just like tells you, like he's like, whatever we can do to find them. Then he kind of lets that hang there.
See, we are going to take you on an adventure. I may not be included in this. You might be doing this while I'm looking for unicorns. I don't know. Or on the other hand, you might be sending me in dark season when you can't go out because you're pregnant and I have to go do it for you.
Well, no one's going and doing much hunting in dark season, period. It's tough.
Yeah, I can't handle it. I'm tough.
I figured we could send I don't know if we regularly have messages or anything go back and forth to Aldershire to the Lunar Temple to.
I'm going to Aldershire.
Philomena?
Probably. So, I think, because that's where I go. I'm going to go work on my. Well, unless I'm doing it here. I'm going to spend dark season reading and writing.
Oh, yeah. You would be in Aldershire then for that. Cool.
I just have to get to 80% if I want to become a priestess, too.
Oh, yeah. They have to be literate because they keep the temple records. Yeah. It's tough out there.
Okay.
Cool. Yeah, so that's the information you get. You can share that with whomever you'd like and send it onwards. Baranth is obviously like, yes, I would like my children back if at all possible, right? Like,
yeah. So I'll write a letter to Philomena and ask
Felina, but super subtle flex.
Judge him very hardly.
Yeah, subtle flex on Kathea there. She's like, I have to go ahead and learn how to read and write some more, and you're like, I'm going to write a letter and have you carry it.
I didn't mean for it to be that.
Yes, you did.
I tell you what's in the letter. This is what this rune means.
That's a good question. Do you tell me what's in the letter?
Yes, because I think Kathea would be for it.
Yes, she would. She's all about children. She's not going to have any of her own, but remember how she dotes over. She's been out at your stead doting over her niece and nephew. Also checking in with her brother and sister-in-law about how you're doing. I meant more in your relationship than that.
I will see. He's still low emo.
I mean, he lost a lot in the last year or so you know.
I'm not saying it's unjustified. But yeah, and through dark and storm, kind of push to get my hides of barley and hopefully set up capable carls and cotters for that.
Right.
And then try to set up Inara with 3 Holdstead.
Right. Absolutely. Okay, so for storm season, or for darkness season, excuse me. Okay, let's handle our seasonal stuff in dark season. Okay, so we've handled the High Holy Day, we've handled divination and Baranth and stuff like that. So let's just kind of recap here. So Soinnarios, you're staying on at your hall basically and handling things there. You were sending a letter to Felina.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Yes.
Kathea, you are going to Aldershire to train in literacy, basically spend some of that temple credit.
Yep.
And you're going to convey that letter to Felina and probably talk to her.
Yep, I will convey it in person. Yes, and talk to her.
Okay, cool.
The only time I'm probably going to spend in our stead is mostly around the High Holy Day and the stuff going on that week or two right around it. But otherwise, I'll be in
Right, makes sense. Absolutely. Cool. So we can handle all of that. Okay. So, Kathea, you will go to Aldershire. You will carry that letter. You can talk to Felina. You'll tell her kind of what's going on. She'll read the letter. You can see that she obviously immediately looks like she turns like a couple shades paler. She's like, oh, this is terrible. I don't know. Obviously, Soinnarios knows their names and would include that in the letter. So she tells you she doesn't know of any children who've come to her temple with that description of names, but she'll look into it. Like she can reach out and start trying to figure it out.
Excellent. And I'll let her know I'm at her service if anything comes up where she needs something conveyed or moved or something like that. That's purpose. I also would have told Soinnarios that.
Okay. Yeah. She'll take it into consideration. Otherwise, yeah, you're going to be at the temple. You will train. You'll be at my temple, I should say, the library and archives there.
Yes.
To learn read write. So you'll spend a little bit of your credit there.
Yep.
So let's go ahead and kind of like, this has been like, we've moved a lot of things, but we need to kind of they're not going to get resolved this season for the most part. So let's go ahead and start looking at our seasonal checks, so putting our 4 checks in and then rolling through it. Soinnarios, go ahead and put a check in your worship skill. It's almost impossible to fail these things. Which Kathea, you had stepped out while we were having this conversation, but during seasonal play, if you want to spend a rune point or 2, don't worry about like, well, I spent them last season and we haven't actually had our High Holy Day yet. There are weekly services, there are associate services, there are so many ways to get your rune points back, and it's so hard to fail the roll that as long as you're not going crazy and just being like, I'm going to summon a fire elemental every day, and bind it. Like, as long as we're not doing stuff like that, like feel free to be like, I want to use a divination. I want to do a heal, like something like that. That's those natures. Like, we can do that stuff and not worry about it. The game really wants you to spend rune points pretty aggressively. So, yeah.
I would do a divination this season, by the way, to go ahead and start establishing my path and what I'm going to do. Unicorn Quest. And yes, this would be very much more of she would prepare herself at some point and just accept the visions that she's given. But you don't have to give the detail to me now. I'm going to do this each season leading up to that.
Makes sense. So I'm going to put a check in a
just to help
divination tracker, and I'll come up with like what you get at the end of it, so we can have like a synthesized, more complete view of things instead of piecemealing it too much, because that'll get confusing, I think. And while it might be confusing for your character too, she'll have lots of time to process it. Absolutely. Yeah, so go ahead and get those done. I'm looking up how much credit you're gonna spend on your training costs. So your skill is very low, but it's a professional skill. So it's gonna cost 30 lunars for this season of training.
Man, I have done the seasonal holy day.
The seasonal holy day, yeah. For
I'll spend the
Pelora. Yeah, absolutely. And
so I get my pouch.
Absolutely, and I'm gonna update the wiki's credit tracker, so don't touch it. Okay.
My one-handed spear is now a 90.
Do you qualify for? Well, not quite, right? You have something.
I think so.
All right, update your sheets and we'll talk about it.
I'm getting
I'll
closer.
look it over.
Skill-wise, I'm getting closer. POW and charisma, though,
POW doesn't matter.
Every skill I went for this season went up.
Yeah,
it has to be a 15 according to the book. I have to have an 18
the Fire and
charisma
Sky
and 15
book?
power.
Is that?
Yeah,
it's higher, huh? That sucks.
I think.
I don't know how I feel about that.
Yeah. Okay. We can talk about it.
Up to you. We were
I can get there
playing with it, not with the book.
Yeah.
So up to you.
I think I about get there. But I did make my POW check for the season, and I'm going to go ahead and just drop it for now. I'm not going to save it. I'm going to go ahead and put it. So I'm now got 10 rune points.
So,
okay.
I did not make my earth or my worship, but I did make my POW check.
Ooh, good
nice.
job.
And since I already had my 18, I decided to roll it.
So you're going to gamble?
I gambled, and I won.
Yes.
Okay.
So you're up to 20.
I'm a POW 20.
Unless you dump them into more room points.
I probably will, but we will see.
Okay.
Yeah, I actually, for my spear, I rolled my skill check. I looked down and went, oh crap, it's a 0. And I rolled a double 0, so.
Nice. So remember, guys,
fumble up on that.
Your shrines have seasonal costs, so make sure that you're keeping track of those.
Costs.
They cost money to maintain.
Oh crap.
Yeah. So make sure you keep track of that.
Per season?
Like,
where's that written down? I know they do. I'm not complaining about it. I'm just trying to remember.
What was it? Yeah.
Do you know how much?
I think it was like
set amount.
Mine's
30,
25.
25. 25 is the correct amount then.
I didn't think mine was that high. I don't think.
It wasn't when it was a shrine.
It was how much?
It wasn't. It was 25. It wasn't when it was a shrine, but you've upgraded it. Like, it was like a sacred spot that you were just going to, but you've upgraded it into a proper shrine because it supports the subcult. So you've made it more expensive, but also cooler, basically.
Yeah. So how much do I spend on that?
It would be 25 seasonally. Because it's not just upkeep, but you're fronting for like regular sacrifices and stuff to be maintained there.
So I just it's been expensive.
So you're sending off stuff
55.
to it and paying for its upkeep.
This is
as well.
I don't know if I'm rich enough to be this high level. Yep.
Okay.
The only thing I don't have is what my training did for my read write. I did all my rolls.
Okay, so it'll go off automatically, right? Training doesn't have a roll to check for it. And the way that it's going to work is you can either take... Where is it here? Where is it? I was just looking at it. Okay, you can either roll 1d6 minus 1 or take a plus 2.
And that's for the whole season. I gained 2%.
Yeah, it's slow.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm actually going to roll for it because the percentage, and it worked out for me. The percentages are better that way.
Yeah, they are.
So my total read right now is 15. Yay.
Nice.
I'm semi-literate.
Good job.
Oh.
Cool. Okay, so are there any other notable increases or any other questions you guys have about Dark Season or anything that we need to talk about there?
I think I told you I did my pile check and I dropped that into more rune points.
Yes, so you're now rune point qualified as well.
10.
Yep, cool. Awesome. Good job.
My Folklore, Ronaldo, and Brew both went up. That with bonuses, I'm up there, but I'm not up there naturally.
Bonuses are fine. Bonuses count.
Yeah, none of mine get there without the bonuses.
Yeah, there's no way for someone to, like, there's no way for an observer who's testing you to be like, are you really good at this or not, to determine how much of that is training and how much of that is skill.
Plus
it's not
natural ability.
possible.
It's just natural ability.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like there's just no way to tell. Like 90% is 90%. So
Yeah, because when I record it, I don't put the bonus into the skill.
right.
Yeah, I don't either.
Right. Neither do I, because it matters for your bonus gives you it influences how you level it when you get good at it. Right?
Yeah.
Because it always is like you always have a 10% chance or a 15% chance or whatever. So
hold it. Sorry.
Did you forget about that?
So does that mean so that means now that my composite bow is actually 87%, I only have to roll an 86 or higher to go up.
Yeah, because you have a 15% manipulation.
Bonus. I didn't roll for it this time. It didn't matter, but I just
it always gives you a chance.
I've only got one there, but that actually means the higher your bonus, the easier it is to go well above 100.
Yes.
Which makes sense.
Yep. Okay, cool. So if there's nothing else there, we're about out of time. I'm starting to have more problems. Like I said, now that I'm on my phone, we're gonna start. Like even though it's much faster than my home internet, routing through it introduces lag. So we'll start having more and more trouble communicating with each other. So I think if we're good there, I'm gonna say, let's look ahead to storm season. We're going to do it next time. I didn't think we'd get done with everything. I thought we'd get done with about half of it, but I was like, maybe. You never know. So let's look ahead to storm season. You guys are hosting the tribal fair this year.
Oh, yeah.
That's exciting. And there will probably be more like events going on and stuff like stuff happening in the clan, news of things going on, stuff like that. So keep that in mind as we're moving forward, and just kind of like, if there's anything you want to do, like hit me up in the Discord or send me a text or something about it, and then we'll get it prepped up for next session. So other than that, I think we're done. I think we got quite a bit done, and we'll call it there.
Yeah. Oh,
cool.
That's great.
All right, I'll see you all in the next one.